guys, it's Kate. Welcome to Covert Narcissistic 101. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, guys, please do. Don't forget to like and share. Then thank you so much for subscribing. Guys, today's topic is co-parenting boys with a covert narcissist mom or dad. Co-parenting boys with a covert narcissist mom or dad. We did the co-parenting girls the last time. Today, guys, you know, by now, of course, you understand that even though you might, and especially if you have made it past the healing period, or you're on your way to healing, that as much as you don't talk about the covert narcissist anymore, like it's not like you forgive them or whatever, or you don't. It's just that you have moved past them dominating your thoughts every day. That is not the same with the covert narcissist. You guys already know this, I'm sure. They're still talking about you constantly, and they're speaking negatively about you. So as both male and female, they're speaking negatively about you, and then turn around and tell the kids, well, that's how you're going to be like your dad. And you're exactly like your dad. You're exactly like your mom. After they've already spent every day that they're around these children talking negatively about you. Doesn't matter how long you have been, divorced or separated or not with them anymore. At least I definitely, in my own situation, is still ongoing. It has never stopped. So they turn around and then tell your son, oh, you're going to be like your dad. That's exactly like your dad. You're going to be exactly like your mother. And they've spent so much time speaking negatively about you. So imagine what that does to the child. So for boys, they will call them weak. That's for sure. And why would they call them weak? If a boy is, showing any kind of emotions, showing any kind of feelings for things, a narcissistic father will call him weak. He'll call him weak. He'll call him, you're like your mom, or you are like a female, or like that. And now we're in a society where it seems like men are not supposed to show emotions or whatever. So they start early saying this, and especially if the boy is not like close to the mommy or mommy's boy or whatever, but because they showing respect or they have love for their mother or something like that, they narcissistic father will call this weakness. Will call this, of course, because they're jealous of the love that the child or the boy has with his mother. They will call this a weakness. In turn, a narcissistic mother will say the same thing. It's like you're gonna be as weak as your dad. Why? Because the boy and his father have a good relationship, or they understand each other. And in this case, they present a negative view of the opposite sex ahead of time. So being respectful, being kind, being listening, having a listening ear, being confident around the opposite sex becomes something that is wrong, because these people call it a weakness. Both male or female. This is, of course, where for a narcissistic mother, definitely start the whole enmeshment thing, or emasculating the boy, so that by the time they make it to where they're adults and dating and marriage, that's where they end up being in the boy's relationship, in the marriage. They will be present. They will be present. In my situation, that actually happened. Every now and then the mother will pop up. They never really leave because they start early with this stuff, being all up in the son's business, so that by the time they get older, they are in there. You're married, there are three of you in there. You're in a relationship, there are three of you in there. A narcissist father will introduce the boy earlier on to sexuality early. Because they start making comments, they start talking about things. So they introduce this to the child, doing certain things in front of them, saying certain things in front of them. This is what a covert narcissist father would do around, his son, because they don't really have that feeling of looking beyond, oh, this is a child, I need to leave the child in the child's place. No, that's not how that works. Of course, they criticize every kind of emotion that they show. any kind of, you know, showing any kind of emotion. You know, boys are not allowed. And like I said, we live in a country where, or we live in a world where it seems like that's not supposed to happen. You know, so both narcissistic mom or dad will criticize this. So you see the child growing up trying to bottle things in, they're not going to let things out. And of course, we know how eventually that'll turn out as they get older. Nothing is addressed, you know, because oh, no, you're not supposed to be crying. You don't cry about this. You don't talk about this. You know, you don't cry about this. They definitely, of course, attack the intelligence. Once again, is if they are being logical, if they are being reasonable, depending on which, you know, the mother or father, you know, if they are being reasonable or talking about things, or it looked like, okay, you are siding with your mom, you know, you're on your mom's side. And like, you know, the narcissist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how much sense you're making, you know. Oh, you're siding with your mom. You're siding with, oh, yeah, you're stupid. You're going to end up exactly like he did. You know, you're going to be as stupid as your dad. You don't understand this, or you don't, you know, you can't do anything right. So it continues. It continues. Where do you come in this? Of course, like I said in the previous video, you have to be able to watch what kind of communication with these people and your son, because you need to start reinforcing that not only should you show that what strength is, but you not only will you tell them what strength is, but you have to show them. You know, these people over there saying things that are normal, that should be okay, as judging it as strength in the boy. So now you will pay attention so you can show the child what actually having strength is. It's just because you have emotions doesn't mean that you're a weak person. It actually shows the signs of strength that you can let out when you want to let out, and do what you need to do when you need to do what you need to do. You know, so you show that, not just telling them. You show them what strength looks like. You know, of course, you keep things, you know, keep reminding them what, you know, being age appropriate and stuff, because, like I said, with the boy with covert narcissist father, things will be introduced to the child early, way early than they're supposed to. Things will be introduced to the child way earlier than you're supposed to. So, you know, you catch that as you keep that age appropriate. Of course, you encourage maintaining boundaries, because a covert narcissistic mother will crisscross that line so much with the son that they don't know where the line is. Like I said, as they're getting older, when they get into a relationship, their mother is in there, because they spent years telling them, there's no line between me and you. You know, we're going to pick who you're going to marry, and then I'm going to be in there with you guys. We're going to go through every decision together, decide how many kids you're going to have, what are you going to have for dinner today. There will be all up in it, but this is the start real early. So you encourage your son to have boundaries, maintaining boundaries. You know, the covert narcissist, male or female, don't encourage that. They don't want that. There shouldn't be any line between you and them. You know, so guys, like I said, it's exhausting to, you know, be on top of this thing. But again, unfortunately, like I said, is a hand that we dealt with. So in order to make sure you pay attention and catch whatever is they tell these people, because we already know they're going to tell them this. We already know they're going to show them different things. Is to, you know, you catching that early and see if you can counter, because that's all we're doing. You know, counter parenting. You know, you counter whatever it is they're saying, so you can show the kids a different side of, you know, what it is that they're trying to present. It's more especially if the kids live with a covert narcissist. You know, if you're the dad and your son live with a covert narcissist, you know, whatever visitation time that you have, you're going to really make up for that. And of course, with, you know, phone calls and emails, you're going to be constantly in their ear, because the covert narcissist is constantly saying all this negative stuff about you, especially if the child has not, you know, has figured them out sort of, and cannot take whatever it is they say with a grain of, you know, take whatever they say with a grain of salt. So you got to be in their ear, phone calls, however few times you visit or whatever the visitation time is, to make sure you present your own side of, you know, present the other side of living to the child. All right, guys, get a hold of your mind and everything will fall into place. Please like and share.